We have officially reached the 2025 UEFA Nations League final, where Spain will be coming up against Portugal in an all-Iberian final to see who is going to win this year's UEFA Nations League. We saw some crazy semi-final matches where Portugal ended up defeating the home country Germany 2-1, but we also saw Spain score 5 goals against France, but almost throw it away in the last minute, conceding 4 goals. But although there were challenges for both Spain and Portugal, they have both reached the final, and now we get to witness an all-Iberian final, which I think is going to be an absolutely incredible match. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at both of these sides and giving you guys a little bit of analytics behind both of these teams, looking at how they performed in their semi-final matches, and finally giving you guys my predictions for the final match in the 2025 UEFA Nations League. So without further ado, let's get right into these predictions. Before I get into this video, I have to say for the record that I predicted both of the semi-final matches incorrectly. I predicted that Germany and France were both going to advance to the final, but obviously I was completely wrong, as Portugal and Spain have advanced. So hopefully I don't predict this final wrong as well, because that would be an L. Now, before I predict this final match, we have to take a step back and look at how both of these teams performed in the semi-final matches. I'm going to start off with Germany against Portugal because obviously that was the first of the two matches. And coming into this match, I thought that Germany were actually going to win this game because they had the home advantage. And yes, they have had a lot of injuries recently and they didn't have their best lineup, but they still had a very good lineup. They have a lot of underrated players, and obviously Julian Nagelsmann is a very good manager in my opinion. But you could also say that Portugal had some advantages as well. Obviously against Germany, Portugal have not beaten Germany in a very long time, and also with their manager in Roberto Martinez, he has always been overlooked because we all remember what he did with Belgium for so many years, where Belgium had one of the best teams in the world, but they never ended up winning anything. So obviously him being the manager of Portugal now, he wants to win this trophy. But I actually think that because of Martinez, Portugal ended up going down 1-0 against Germany at the start of the second half, because I don't think that he played Portugal's best lineup. I don't think Trincao was the best option. I don't think Ruben Neves was the best option in the midfield. And I think starting João Neves out of position also wasn't really a good idea. And that's why we saw throughout the first half, yes, Portugal had many chances, but Germany also had a lot of chances as well. The first half was very 50-50, and realistically both teams had a lot of chances to score. And it wasn't until the second half when Roberto Martinez actually made the necessary substitutions when Portugal actually started to play better. We saw right when he took off Ruben Neves and put on Vitinha, and when he took off Trincao and put on Conceição, that Portugal instantly got better. Obviously Conceição scored an incredible goal to get them the level 1-1, and obviously Vitinha was incredible throughout the whole match. But even Nelson Semedo was a very good option to put in at right back, and I think that in this next match Roberto Martinez has to get the lineup right, because if he doesn't, they're going to get punished by Spain. I don't know why he would start Trincao and Ruben Neves in that midfield when we've seen the likes of Vitinha and João Neves and how good they play together with PSG. They just won the Champions League, and to start Vitinha on the bench and to start João Neves in the right back position, I don't think this was a good move by Roberto Martinez. And again, this may be the reason why for all those years with Belgium, he never won anything, because realistically, he's not the best manager. But I do think if he does get the lineup right in this next match against Spain, they definitely have a good chance. Now, we all know how good Portugal are at the back. They're very solid. Obviously, Diogo Costa is a very good goalkeeper. And if this game does end up going down to penalties, Portugal will 100% win. But in terms of their attack, I don't know if they're the best team. I do think Spain are definitely the better team in terms of their attack. Nothing against Portugal's attack. Obviously, they have Cristiano Ronaldo, who we all know is one of the GOATs of football, but he is getting up there in age. And with other players like Trincao and Rafael Leao, who are having a little bit of inconsistent seasons, I'm not sure how their attack is going to stack up against the likes of Spain. Now, we have to move over to the other semi-final match where Spain was versing France. And that was arguably the craziest semi-final match I've ever seen in my life. 5-4, 9 goals in one match. And France almost brought it back in the last few minutes of play. Now, coming into this match, I didn't think that Spain were going to win. Obviously, they are the current Nations League holders and the current Euros holders, but I just thought that France had the better team, that had more experience in their team, and with their incredible attackers, with Mbappe, Doué, Barcola, Cherki, Thuram, Colomwani, they have so many incredible attackers. I thought that they would have too much firepower for Spain's defense. But clearly, even though France had more of the ball throughout this game, they never really had the best opportunities until later on in the second half. But that shows you how incredible Spain's team are, how resilient they are to be down in possession, to not have much of the ball, but still have that crazy counter-attacking capability to score 2 goals in the first half to put them 2-0 up against France. And the reason why Spain are so good at counterattacking and moving the ball quickly is because in their team, they have so many technical players. If we look at the technical players of Portugal, Spain have arguably even more technical ability than Portugal. If we look at players like Pedri, Gavi, Dani Olmo, Fabian Ruiz, all of these players are incredibly technical players. They're very good on their feet. They're very good at passing the ball around quickly. And that's how Spain can counterattack so quickly from the defense to the attack in under 10 seconds because of this incredible midfield that they have. And speaking more on Spain's attack, that is the reason why they won this game, because if their attackers weren't so clinical in the final third, players like Nico Williams, Merino, and obviously Lamine Yamal, they wouldn't have won this game because France were the dominant team. France had more shots. France had more of the ball. But Spain made better use of their counterattacks. They made better use of their shots. And that's why they ended up scoring 5 goals against France. Now, one thing that worries me a little bit from Spain's point of view in this match against Portugal is their back line. Obviously, I think their fullbacks are very, very good. Pedro Porro and Cucurella are very, very good defenders, very aggressive fullbacks. But I'm not 100% convinced with their center backs. Obviously, Huijsen has been having an incredible season, but with Spain, he is still a very young player and doesn't have that experience. And if we look at other center backs like Lenormand or Vivian, they are good players, but in this game, we did see a lot of weaknesses from them. And especially when Vivian came on for Lenormand, he made a few mistakes and even ended up scoring an own goal. For that reason, I do think Portugal have the capabilities to take advantage of Spain's back line. But again, this all depends on what lineup they play with Roberto Martinez as their manager and what tactics they use. Because if they don't play well and they don't use the correct tactics, I think Spain will pretty comfortably win this game. I think a big portion in this game comes down to which team plays better in attack. If Spain play better in attack with Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams running down the wing, I think they will win this game. But if Portugal can play better than them in the attack, they can get the ball to Ronaldo, they can score multiple goals, then I do think Portugal will win. So in my opinion, I think both of these teams have very similar play styles. I think in terms of their defense, their midfield, they're very technical players, but the attack is what will win them this game. And in my opinion, I do think Spain just have the better attack over Portugal. After I saw Portugal beat Germany, I thought that they were going to win this Nations League. I thought that whoever wins between Spain or France, that Portugal would win the final. But after seeing Spain dismantle France's defense, after seeing what Nico Williams did, what Lamine Yamal did, who keeps performing on an international level at such a young age, I just don't think they're going to lose this game. They already won the last Euros, they won the last Nations League, and I do think they are going to repeat and win this one again. So for that reason, I do think this will be a very, very close game, but I'm just going to edge it to Spain, and I think they're going to win this game 2-1. And that is the end of this video. That was my UEFA Nations League final prediction for 2025, where I do think Spain will beat Portugal 2-1 in this All-Iberian final. If you guys agree with my predictions, remember to leave a comment down below. But if you disagree with my predictions and you think Portugal are going to win their second Nations League, remember to leave your predictions down below, and I'll be sure to reply to every single comment. And obviously, if you did enjoy this video and you're excited for more summer content and obviously my FIFA Club World Cup predictions, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more videos.